We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, you start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
Rated PG-13.
Hi, I'm George Lucas. In my past 40 years of motion picture making, no subject has so inspired me as this story that happened in August 2016. The world saw a 3-year-old boy on global networks, and it really touched my heart. So much so that I had to tell his story. His name is Omran Daknish. His story is real. It happened. I'm telling this story because millions of other children just like Omran are still being hurt in war-torn countries resulting from neglect, illness, and uncaring masses. We must remember them all. You won't be leaving the movie theater without a tear in your eyes. I hope you'll come.
Rated PG-13.
20 years later, the horror lives in these images of a packed supermarket splashed with gas. 5 people, mothers, daughters, as young as 4, all burned alive in an act of terrorism long before September 11th made that threat a part of everyday life in America. Doctors said Billy Ferry was a deranged drifter who thought he was attacking a Russian military base.
They castrated my wife and my 4-year-old son 3 years ago, buddy, and I crucified Hillsborough County with radioactive asbestos.
It was public defender Craig Aldridge's first death penalty case. Looking back, he says, Ferry should have never been on the street.
Everybody knew that there was a mentally deranged person on the streets of Tampa. And the bottom line is the system failed them. The family begged to do something to help him, and they never helped.
Ferry even spray-painted a warning in the neighborhood only days before the firebomb. I interviewed Ferry's sister Rhonda that night.
And all we ever got out of him was, well, how do you know he's crazy? Who are you to say that he's crazy?
After a year in a state hospital, Ferry was brought back. The funerals may have been over, but the mourning had turned to anger as the trial began.
I swear you could feel the hostility. It was like heat from a pot-bellied stove. You could feel it.
Also in court, the families of the victims. The Carters lost their 20-year-old daughter, Leanne. She'd dreamed of being a school teacher, of having a family of her own. Her father and brother live now near Atlanta. They say they want Leanne's memory kept alive.
I know a lot of the families didn't want to talk about it this year, but we don't want people to forget about it.
The Carters say they'll never accept the state Supreme Court's decision to commute Ferry's death sentences to life without parole.
I want him dead. I want him to be dead from that very night that it happened, because he took my daughter away from me.
It's little solace to the Carters that police 20 years later are better trained to deal with the Billy Ferrys amongst us. Warren Ellie, Fox 13 News.
Ode to Leigh by Vicki Belzer. I feel a need to write this ode, to lay aside a heavy load of grief and anger and pain. To you, my friend and confidant, in times of sun and rain. To you, whose life was lost so young, but whose spirit one could not daunt. O Leigh, why must another's crime have taken you from this world? Perhaps in time, my sense of loss and anger will abate. But until then, all I can do is hate the injustice which took your life, so full of hope and promises, a death of agony and strife. The court has ruled that the man was not to blame, but with your death a vital part of my life was gone. They have said he was not well, but how can he feel no shame? The cost of lives which he so ended was dear to us indeed, but to me, yours was the major one, which tore my heart away. When we at last knew what he had done, I wish we could have stopped what he had intended. I didn't want to believe the news. I tried so hard to deny it, but at the last I had to accept that what they had said was true. Oh my friend, my dearest companion, I felt as if I stood alone atop a barren canyon. The preacher and the speech he gave increased the ire I felt. He said your death was not a tragedy, but a victory just beginning. Oh, I wished I could have dealt a blow to the mad fiend whose hand had fired the match. I have no words that can express how much I need you here. All I could do was shed the tears and mourn your life with emptiness inside my soul and heart. And so, dear friend, I find that now our lives have come to part. I must find a way to say farewell, though I don't quite know how. You will never be forgotten, no matter what may come to pass. For deep inside my memories of you will never fade. No matter what the future brings. The sun that shines, the bird that sings. I am honored to have known you. Goodbye Leigh, goodbye.
Sing and shout, ain't nobody there to turn me off. When I get to heaven, put on the new shoes. Wanna walk around and tell good news. I'll look away to heaven. Look away to heaven. I'll look away to heaven. But I hope I'll join the band. I read up the Susan from his birth, oldest man that ever lived on earth. Lived 100 years and 69, died and went to heaven in 20 new time. I look away to heaven. I look away to heaven. I look away to heaven. Lord, I hope I'll join the band. Satan like a snake crawling in the grass, always hiding in them Christians' past. Satan is a liar and a conjure too. If you don't watch out, he'll conjure you. Now look away to heaven. Now look away to heaven. Now look away to heaven. And Lord, I know I'll join the band. Father, not my mother, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my sister, not my brother, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need. And take him at his word, sing and pray every day. Shine, shine, shine. Shine when trouble takes you. Shine when trouble takes you all the way. Every day, there's a crown